My friends, welcome to this episode of the TOGR Review. I hope you all are doing well. It's no secret that when it comes to a JetBoil stove, the type of JetBoil stove that you're likely thinking of now, I am not a fan. Over the years, I have tested many different variants of the JetBoil stove, again, the most common type that most people think of. And plain and simple, I do not like them. For what they are, for what they offer, they are way overpriced. Plus, I've had countless issues as far as reliability goes. In addition, the weight of the typical JetBoil is quite heavy, especially for backpacking purposes. With that being said, the other day it came to my attention that JetBoil offers more than those JetBoil systems. They actually have a more traditional backpacking canister stove option. After a viewer mentioned this stove, I was looking at it. The design is very similar to many backpacking canister stoves. A claim by the company caught my attention, and that is why I purchased this. That is why I'm going to begin testing this out. The stove inside of this bag that I'm talking about is the MightyMo, and this is what the company claims that caught my attention. JetBoil claims that this is regulated for consistent performance down to 20 degrees Fahrenheit, which is -6 Celsius. That statement means, and also you can tell by looking at this stove, that this stove has a regulator. Regulators are nothing new. There are tons of stoves that have them. If you're not familiar with what a regulator does, allow me to tell you. In a nutshell, a regulator on a canister stove allows a stove to perform at a very consistent level. And it doesn't matter if the pressure inside of the gas canister is getting low because of temperature outside, or if the pressure is getting lower because the fuel level is declining. In other words, a regulator gives you a very consistent level of performance in cool conditions and also when the fuel level drops inside of the canister. Without a regulator, canister stoves do not perform well in cool conditions, and their performance begins to suffer as the fuel is used inside of the canister. Going back to the claim, regulated for consistent performance down to 20 degrees Fahrenheit, -6. That right there blows my mind. If that claim is true, this stove here is a game changer, because canister stoves, even those with regulators, do not perform well, especially at 20 degrees Fahrenheit. I have never seen a company who manufactures canister stoves, those with regulators, actually put a temperature level on there, or a temperature rating. JetBoil has to be the very first one. Most companies will claim something along the lines of better performance in cool or cold conditions. I have never seen a company claim good performance at 20 degrees Fahrenheit, let alone even 30. With my supporters here on YouTube and those on Patreon, I did a post about this stove and the company's claims. The responses from those individuals were all the same. Yeah, right. 20 degrees Fahrenheit? That is unreal. That is unprecedented. And I have to agree. Even with a regulator, temps in the 40s, you can have pretty sluggish performance from a stove, from a canister stove. With temperatures in the 30s, you will certainly notice a lack of performance, slow boil times. In the 20s, most of the time stoves like this are unusable. That, everyone, is why the company's claims have blown my mind, and also the minds of so many viewers. With that being said, let's take a moment here. Let me show you all what you receive if you decide to purchase this system. So if you decide to purchase the MightyMo, you get this orange storage bag. The quality of this bag is actually not bad. What you have here is a canister support stand. I'll show you how this works in just a minute. And then you receive the stove itself. Focusing on the little stove here, you can see the burner head up at the top. You have the igniter. We have the pot supports, which rotate out like this. I have to say, everyone, they are very, very stiff, and I'm concerned about these. We'll talk more about those in just a minute. We have the valve here to make all of your adjustments. We have an electronic igniter right here. On the back side, we have the regulator. And everyone, that is the largest regulator I have ever seen on a canister stove ever. I mean, it's not even close. This is how you connect it to your isobutane canister. With the gas canister support stand, I will show you all how this works. Basically, you lay it down on the ground, you connect the gas canister in each one of these grooves, and it locks the support stand to the canister itself. In a nutshell, that is the MightyMo Stove. Let's take a second here, let's do a quick boil test, and let's see just how powerful this stove is. To boil 2 cups of water, 16 ounces, it took 2 minutes, 25 seconds. That is not bad for a canister stove, but that's not even close to being a world record or anything like that. I can say that this stove does seem to simmer very well. You can dial it back very, very low or go all out. Let's take a second now and let's go over some stats real quick before talking about some interesting points concerning this system. So right off the bat, this runs on isobutane and isobutane only. It has not been designed to run on propane only or butane only. The power output from this stove is 10,000 BTUs. When the stove is all folded up, it measures 3 inches tall and it's 2 inches wide. When it's all set up, it stands roughly 5 inches tall and it's roughly 4 inches wide with the pot supports. It's about 4.5 inches with the adjuster. This stove is made from stainless steel. There's some aluminum, some brass, and we have some plastic. When it comes to weight, the company claims that the stove weighs 3.3 ounces. On my scale, I found this not to be true, 3.5 ounces, with all of the components coming in at 4.8 ounces. The retail price is $65 at the time of filming on Amazon. 60 bucks. And that, everyone, takes us over to my impressions of the system so far. Right off the bat, the quality here is good. This is a well-made product. Everything about this is high quality. There's no rough edges. All of the milling has been filed down. From a quality standpoint, there's nothing to complain about. From a design standpoint, there are 2 glaring problems with this, and we'll talk about those in just a moment. Without a doubt, this is a stove that's very easy to set up, it's easy to break down. At the same time, it's very stable. The pot supports, they're excellent. Right now, they are easy to move. We'll see if that changes. We've seen stove systems like this that feature the rotating pot supports before. That's nothing new. Oftentimes, heat will make the movement of these extremely difficult. So that is something that I will pay attention to while testing this out. Because we have the gas canister support stand, this should be very stable on the ground in addition to on a table. The stove itself is very lightweight. The entire kit is very lightweight. At the same time, it's very compact and it doesn't take up much space inside of your backpack. I have to say that I do like the pot supports a lot. We have jimping on top, plus these flat pads. That means whatever you put on this is going to be very stable, and the odds of it sliding off are going to be minimal. So far, the igniter has ignited the stove every single time, but JetBoil is known for having the worst igniters in the business. So this is something that I will have to pay close attention to as testing goes forward. Performance-wise, so far, so good. But, man, these Blue Jays, they are so loud and obnoxious. Anyways, performance-wise, at roughly 70 degrees, this stove has done very, very good. It's not the best performer as far as the boil test goes, but it's good. Plus, you can turn it down, you can simmer. That takes us over to the cons that I have for this system. Con number 1, there's no windscreen on this at all. During this boil test, there was a light breeze at times, and it was directly impacting this stove. You can hear it, you can see it. It's amazing that the company did not include any sort of windscreen here. They should have, and that was an oversight. An additional oversight deals with the electronic igniter. For some reason, folks, the company has not shielded off the back side of this, so that when you go, let me show you this. You can see this is the back side of the igniter. You can see that metal. So there's the front with the switch, and there's the back with the metal. When you go to ignite this, you put your finger on the back, your finger on the front and you push in, folks, this shocks you. It shocks you because there's no protection on the back side. This arrived yesterday. I took it out of the box, I was checking it out, and immediately my attention went to this igniter. I've never seen an igniter before without the back side being shielded. So I put my finger on there, boom. Did you hear that? You can actually hear it arcing, not only up here, but down here too. And it shocked the piss out of me. The power of the shock does not seem to be consistent. But it's something that you certainly notice. I don't like that one bit, and I don't think you are going to like it either. The fact that the company forgot to shield the backside of the igniter is really, really strange. Because of that, you should put your finger on the regulator, even though that doesn't feel like the proper placement when you click that igniter in. No windscreen. The issue with the igniter, so far it is working, but every time you click it, it shocks you. That's weird. The next issue that I have deals basically with the company itself. This is a company that is known for having products that are unreliable. This is especially true with the igniters. They are known for going out all the time. In fact, you should not put your trust in them at all. If you buy a JetBoil stove, make sure to have a lighter with you at all times, because these stoves will let you down, plain and simple. With this stove specifically, the MightyMo, there are stories of all sorts of odd things taking place with this online. I read one account of this stove actually exploding, flying off. That account comes from the JetBoil website, and unfortunately the company did not address it. They addressed other complaints about this stove, but not that one. I find that a little bit concerning. Next, I've also seen reports of the support legs melting and bending out of shape. Another con that I should mention that I almost forgot, the burner head here is rather small, meaning this is not going to be a great stove to cook on. You can do some minor cooking, but if you're someone who really wants to cook up a feast, if you want to use larger pans, pots, and so on, this is not the stove for you. That really isn't a con of this system, more as a FYI sort of thing. This is definitely not a cooking stove. This is designed for minor cooking, mostly boiling and heating up. Did you hear that? That snap? That was the electrical discharge going into my finger. I don't like that one bit. Anyways, everyone, as it stands right now, this is going to go into testing. I would not recommend anybody buy this, especially with the issues with the igniter. That's super weird. It will be interesting to see whether or not the company's claims in regards to the regulator are accurate. Today, at the time of filming, it's the first day of fall. Already the temps have dropped into the 30s. 20 is right around the corner. Shortly, I will begin testing this out, and we will see together whether or not the company's claims are accurate. Everyone, I'm done. If you enjoyed this episode, please hit the thumbs up. I do appreciate it. Again, I'm sure you know this, I say this all the time, the channel is agenda free. I purchased this with my own money, just like I do 99% of the products that I test out here on the channel. The purpose of this channel is information. It's not selling products. Unlike other channels, I don't have companies telling me what to tell you all, giving me permission to say certain things or not say certain things. I don't have to do that. If a product is good, I say so. If there's a problem, I tell you all that problem and I show you the issue, plain and simple. Then you can make up your own mind. That's how it works with this channel. So, if you don't mind, hit the like button. It helps this channel a lot. Until next time, everyone, take care, be well, strength and honor. Stay tuned for my review of the MightyMo. This system here is shocking.